Hey, code lovers, and welcome! Today, we're going to explore a really neat tool in JavaScript called the Conditional Operator. You might also hear it called the Ternary Operator. Now, you probably already know about if-else statements for making decisions in your code. The conditional operator is like a super compact version of that, perfect for quick decisions that you can write all on one line. It's pretty cool. So let's dive in. Imagine you want to check something and then do one thing if it's true and a different thing if it's false. That's what if else is for, right? The conditional operator lets us do this much more concisely. It's called ternary because it works with three parts or operands. Let's see its basic shape. The structure looks like this. You have your condition, then a question mark, then an expression to run if the condition is true, followed by a colon, and finally an expression to run if the condition is false. Simple, right? Let's make this real with an example. Suppose we have a game and we want to check if a player's score is high enough to earn a bonus. First, let's set up a player's score. Let's say the player scored 75 points. So I write let player score equals to 75 semicolon. Now, let's use the conditional operator to decide the message. If the score is greater than 50, we'll say bonus unlocked. Otherwise, we'll say keep trying. So, I write player score greater than 50 question mark console.log single code bonus unlocked exclamation mark next colon console.log single code keep trying exclamation mark semicolon. So, what's happening here? Player score greater than 50 is our condition. It asks, is 75 greater than 50? Yes, it is. So, this part is true. Because it's true, the part after the question mark gets executed. So, console.log bonus unlock gets executed. And the part after the colon is ignored. So if I run this, and you see bonus unlock in the console. Now, what if the score was, say, 30? Let's quickly imagine that. If player score was 30, the condition 30 greater than 50 would be false. JavaScript would skip the first expression and execute the one after the colon. Means console.log keep trying gets executed. So I'm going to change player score to 30 to see what's going to happen. And if I run it, see? Console.log keep trying is executed. This is pretty handy for simple console.logs or quick actions. But the real power of the conditional operator shines when you realize it's an expression. And what do expressions do? They produce a value. This is a key difference from an if-else statement. An if-else just does things, but the conditional operator gives you back a value. This means we can assign the result of the operator to a variable. This is super useful. Let's try this. Instead of directly logging a message, let's determine a player's status based on their score. If their score is over 90, they're a pro player. Otherwise, they're a regular player. So I write, let current score equals to 95, semicolon. Now, let's declare a variable, say player status, and assign its value using the conditional operator. So, let player status equals to current score greater than 90, question mark, single quote, pro player, colon. Otherwise, it's going to be a regular player. So, single quote, regular player, semicolon. Okay, let's break this down. We have our current score set to 95. The condition is current score greater than 90. It asks, is 95 greater than 90? Yes, it is. So the expression after the question mark, which is the string pro player, becomes the value of this whole operation. This value per player is then assigned to our player status variable. Now, let's log player status to the console to see what it holds. So I write console.log player status, semicolon. And if I run this, you should see pro player in your console. If current score was, for example, 80, then current score greater than 90 would be false, and player status would be assigned regular player. Let's try that. If I change current score to 80 and run it again, yeah, as we expected. Look at this. It's a clean, one-line way to assign a value conditionally. Think about how you do this with a traditional if-else statement. You'd have to declare the variable first, then use an if block to assign one value and an else block to assign another. Let me show you quickly for comparison. So, let another score equals to 80, semicolon. Next, let status message, semicolon. Now it fills a statement. So if another score greater than 90, status message equals to pro player, semicolon. Else, status message equals to regular player, semicolon. And console.log status message. So if I run it, you see it shows regular player. It works, but the conditional operator version was much shorter. And for simple cases like this, often easier to read once you get used to it. It packs all that logic into a single, elegant line. Now, another fantastic place to use the conditional operator is inside template literals, those special strings in JavaScript that use backticks and allow you to embed expressions directly. The thing is, you can put a whole if-else statement inside the template literals directly. It just doesn't work because if-else is a statement, not an expression. But the conditional operator, since it is an expression and produces a value, it works perfectly. Let's say we want to greet a user. We have a variable is user logged in, which is a boolean, true or false. So I write it, let is user logged in equals to true. Semicolon. Now, let's create a welcome message using a template literal. If the user is logged in, we'll say welcome back. If not, we'll say welcome guest. I write const greeting backticks hello there exclamation mark $, curly braces. Now, inside these curly braces, we have to put our expression. And you know what is an expression? An expression is something that produces a value. Means it can be variables, or some operations, or something that finally gives us a value. And this ternary operator produces a value. So to use it here, I write, is user logged in? Question mark, single quote, welcome back. Otherwise, I want to say, welcome guest. And semicolon. Look at that. Inside the $, curly braces, placeholder, in our template literal, we've put our conditional operator. Is user logged in is true. So the expression welcome back is chosen. This string value is then embedded into the overall greeting string. Let's print it. So console.log greeting. And if I run it, and you see, hello there, welcome back. Now, if user logged in were false, the part after the colon, welcome guest, would be used. And the message would be, hello there, welcome guest. So if I make it false and run it again, yeah, you see it. This is incredibly useful for dynamically constructing strings based on conditions, all in a very readable way. So, when should you use the conditional operator? It's perfect for short, simple, conditional assignments to variables. It's great for embedding conditional logic directly into template literals or other places where an expression is expected. However, it's not meant to replace all if-else statements. If you have multiple lines of code to execute for the if part or the else part, or if you have complex conditions with else if, then a traditional if-else statement is still clearer and more appropriate. Using the ternary operator for very complex logic can make your code hard to read, so always aim for clarity. Alright, that's the conditional or ternary operator in JavaScript. It's a compact and powerful way to write conditional expressions. It takes a condition, a value if true, and a value if false. Remember, it's an expression, which means it gives back a value, making it super handy for assignments and in places like template literals. Practice using it in your own projects. Try converting some simple if-else statements that assign values into ternary operations. The more you use it, the more natural it will become. It can really make your code more concise and sometimes even more readable. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you understand the conditional operator better. Happy coding. And before that, guys, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.